It's creepy.
It's never been done before to this extent.
No way.
Because look at the Kardashian lady. What's her name?
Chris.
Yeah.
She
Look at
keeps
her.
getting younger.
Bro.
It's sick.
Her new face
Is great.
is bananas.
It's my favorite of her heads.
And we're just talking about this now, knowing that that's the original head that's been altered.
Correct.
When are we going to be talking about completely actually new heads?
Her second head wasn't as good.
No.
No, her third head is the head.
The new head is bananas.
This is my favorite of her heads.
Okay. She's like 80 years old on the
Yes.
left, and on the right, she's 37.
This woman,
Even her neck looks great.
they figured it out. They got it right. Now, here's what happens. There's a
We
movie
used the
called
last
Death
of the
Becomes
Aldous
Her.
we gathered.
This was a
What do
famous
you
movie.
intend to do,
Look at that
Halduran?
picture right there, before and after. One
Yeah.
before and after. One in the middle of the screen. Jamie?
Yeah.
To the right. Middle screen. To the right. To the right. No, that one right there. Click on that. Yeah. That's nuts.
It's amazing.
That's Kim Kardashian. That's her mom, but that's Kim, right? Like, that's crazy. If you told me that was Kim Kardashian, I was like, oh, I like her with the same hair. She was beautiful.
There's gotta be nuts. But here's my question. There has to be a. Doesn't there have to be a downside? Yeah. Maybe not.
Listen, you're talking to a guy that's had 2 reconstructed knees.
Right.
So surgery's awesome. To me,
I agree with you.
like, if I would be a cripple if I lived in New York.
I'm wondering if some of this couldn't possibly her fit. You know,
She
when
looks
those
better.
I agree with you.
She looks better than her daughter.
But those BBLs explode.
Well, that's not a good thing. The
So couldn't her
BBLs
face one day?
No.
Really?
Yeah, because they're just removing tissue and they're tightening it up, and it's probably got some sort of resurfacing.
I'm into it.
With laser resurfacing, I don't know if you've ever seen some of that. It's so scary what they look like right after they do it.
Yeah.
You're basically burning off the upper dermis. You're burning off, like, whatever, how much of
Yeah.
a percentage of a millimeter.
Yeah.
And then your whole face becomes a mask that gets removed. Like, the skin gets cooked off, and then you feel it. Like, you see them.
Yeah.
It looks like they got torched by a fucking. It looks like SpaceX. They
Right.
got underneath it.
They got underneath
Took it in
it.
the face.
Something I worry a little bit about a society where people keep kids. My grandfather, my grandmother, old people, wisdom. You know, my grandmother was not running around trying to look like her.
Right.
I worry a little bit about, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with cosmetic surgery and people should look as good as they want. I worry a little bit spiritually, slightly, about where this leads.
That's a good worry.
That's all.
No, that's legitimate. A
And I'm saying this as someone who likes her new look.
Yeah.
I think she looks good, and I would not tell her to not do it.
Right.
I'm just wondering if someone's 90 and they look 30. I'm a little curious. I guess we're just heading towards everlasting life on Earth.
Well, it depends on what scale is. So if you're a person that focuses on expanding your consciousness and you're constantly reading and you're absorbing and you just want to have more energy and be useful, that's great. But if the whole thing you are chasing is I want people to want to fuck me, that gets weird.
Not only that, of course that, but also to me,
Yeah,
there's
double reg, dude.
something
Double
strange about the
wrecked.
denial of death. The denial of that life is finite in a physical form, and the idea that you are going to live forever, to me feels there's gotta be some examination of that. Part of this feels like that a little bit.
There's a little bit of that.
Some of these people are trying to live forever, and I'm wondering about that.
Well, they certainly want to stay younger for a lot longer than anybody ever has before. And then you get into the weird realm of a lot of these people that want to do something to the body where it becomes immortal. Right?
Right, and that's very interesting to me, and I
Transhumanism.
yeah, and that to
Glory
me is a
to
little
this new
scary.
dawn.
I don't understand. I'm not smart enough to understand it, and I worry about it from many angles.
Well, it gets weird when it's really rich people.
Right.
Right, because when it's really young people, and you're like, you want to stay young forever, so you're 23 and you're getting Botox. Oh, you poor kid.
Right.
You're just delusional. You don't know what you're doing. You're
This
fucking up.
is getting
but
us
when
nowhere.
you want to stay
Send word to Rama.
alive
Have the Magisters
forever,
make
and
haste
you
to the Sun
continue
Crown
to
tree.
amass insane
May the wind
amounts of
guide
wealth.
your arrows.
Right.
That's
You
where it
must
gets
not
weird.
falter.
Like, you don't
With
want to quit the game.
perseverance,
Like
strength.
you're in
If you
this,
detonate your rune
you know,
stones,
having
your forests
incredible
will burn.
financial influence over the
We have
world.
rebuilt
game.
from
You're worth
ashes
$80
before,
billion,
without any
$200
alm
billion.
dust. What other
You wanna keep
recourse
that
do we
ball
have?
rolling.
That to me is a little scary.
Well, it's scary because if the game continues, like let's look at Bezos. Yeah. Right. Like let's imagine that Amazon continues to expand and grow. Bezos continues to profit off of it, and right now he's like, what is he, like 58 or 59? Well, what would he be when he's 120? Would he have $30 trillion?
He'd have
You know what I mean?
a lot more than he does now.
And would that
And his
when,
power would grow.
and if people started encroaching on that power and
Yeah.
trying to limit it and trying to, that's where it gets weird. They get defensive, right?
Yeah.
If people want to tax the rich, eat the rich,
Yeah.
they get a little, they're like, okay, I gotta fucking build thicker walls, build the bunkers, yeah, I gotta do something.
Well, they
And I
just
also have
said-
to create,
Yeah.
work with the government to create the laws.
The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab just said, I think it was Klaus Schwab, not Larry Fink, the Blackstone guy, or BlackRock, who's now the interim president or whatever.
Thank God.
Thank God. Someone who understands the issues. But Klaus Schwab is basically like, I believe we're heading toward state-owned capitalism. Which is people, private individuals, that have it's a public-private partnership where you have guys like Bill Gates, Elon Bezos, whoever, people at that level that have a large stake in a public-private partnership that's running society. And I think that scares people a little bit, or it's a curiosity. Because you start going, and it's always kind of the case when JP Morgan sent the federal government out years ago, like these guys have always had a lot of power, but yet the level of power in terms of surveillance and data mining and the power over your life has never been as overwhelming as it is now, and it keeps with AI and all of these models, it's even going to get more intrusive. So I think it's not only these great fortunes, but it's their capability to literally know what you're thinking, what you fear, what you want, your desires, all of these things, having all your data, knowing everything you do, knowing how Fisher Hart is speaking. You know, all these wearable things that you have that are transmitting frequencies to, someplace where all of your health data is being stored. That's what bothers a lot of people. It's what bothers people about this
The light
Palantir
room
thing.
has reached to the river.
Yeah, we
Light
were
of
talking
the
about
sun
that yesterday.
preserve us.
Yeah.
The
We
Palantir
are out
thing.
of time.
A
Baladash
lot of people
Malanore.
feel that
May victory
this
be
is the
ours.
precursor
May
to,
you lend your
a social
song
credit
to
score,
hers. Perhaps
a
we'll meet
digital
again.
kind of police state,
Eternal sun
and that it's being
still
done
guides
under
us.
the guise of security, that you will be safer.
Which is what the Patriot Act was brought.
That's exactly right.
It's always the case. It's always the case. They always sneak it in like, you gotta be safe.
What
Yeah.
is this
You get the
madness?
Benjamin Franklin quote.
Naive
The people
Orwina.
that want security,
These
right? They
phrases shall lap at the heels
something
of our
about they
secret
deserve
home.
neither. They trade liberty for security. Deserve neither. Yeah, I mean it's true. I just think, Peter Thiel's giving a 4-point lecture on the Antichrist.
Yeah, that seems odd.
4 points. Well, here's what's really wild to me. 4 points. It's not just one. One lecture on the Antichrist would be insane. This guy's doing a series. He's doing a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist, and nobody in his inner orbit went, Peter, how about one lecture on the Antichrist
They are
or no
relentless.
lectures?
Alnara,
Not 4.
give me strength.
Well, I don't think he understands the optics.
He certainly does not.
Yeah.
It's odd. Yeah. Well, of course.
Well, it's a private lecture at a club in San Francisco about the Antichrist.
What?
What does he know about the Antichrist? Is he like,
I'm guessing a lot.
if you told me there was a movie and
Yeah.
there was a guy who played the Antichrist, zoom in on that image of him.
Yeah.
More?
I would say,
Fall back!
oh, is that him?
This is like me doing a 4-part lecture on Long Island racism. Just to show everybody, you know, how much I know about it and how scary it is and how we gotta watch out for it. But it's totally not me or anyone I know. It's no one that's ever been in my backyard, but those others. This is just kind of, you know, leaning in, I guess.
Game on. Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Every touchdown could hit big. Don't just watch the game when you can win with it. DraftKings Sportsbook brings the unmatched intensity of the NFL straight to your fingertips. Whether you're backing the first touchdown score, hitting anytime TD props, or riding the thrills of live in-game betting, every play is packed with possibility. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab $200 off NFL Sunday ticket from your YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Rogan. Special code Rogan to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text OPY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Well, I just don't understand, like, why. I would like. Someone saw it. Someone saw one of the lectures that you did on it. Was it good? It might have been Duncan. I said it was boring.
It's of course gonna be good.
But I don't understand, like, what is he doing?
He's trying to prove he's not the Antichrist.
By talking, by
By
rapping.
doing it. He's like, if I was the Antichrist, that's probably how the lecture starts. He goes, now if I was the Antichrist, I obviously wouldn't be doing this lecture.
You know what it's like?
Yeah.
It's like those really shitty men that become male feminists.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
they tweet, believe all women.
Yeah. Well,
And
no,
you're
no,
like,
yes.
hey,
Yeah.
I know you.
Right. Well,
You're a piece of shit.
Didn't O.J. Simpson write a book called If I Did It? So this is Peter Thiel's version of that. His lecture on the Antichrist is If I Did It.
I think
by
my
O.J.
wife blew it out, honestly.
No.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
She's known to do things like that.
I get it. As a woman, you would see it and go, he doesn't need
Well,
this.
she thinks it's for because
For
I
fun,
go,
yeah.
somebody gave it to me for fun. It's
Yeah.
signed.
Right.
It's a signed copy.
Amazing.
And sometimes she will throw things like that out. They gather dust for a little too long. I don't lock it in my office.
If I Did It is laying on the kitchen counter.
But I had a copy of it. So I didn't even.
It's so strange.
No, I did open it. I opened it, but no, I was like,
It's so strange to have this. You build military AI, military drone, autonomous drone technology to export to war zones all over the world. You build domestic surveillance technology to surveil our friends and neighbors. And then your other pet passion is It's odd. Wouldn't you include tennis? Wouldn't you go, and I'm big into tennis. Something else. It's odd, and I like ice fishing. I build autonomous drone technology. I build domestic surveillance technology.
and I love lake trout.
And I love lake trout. And I love big mouth bass fishing.
The
But
wedding
instead, he goes, and I've also developed quite a keen interest in Satan. And I love to talk to everyone about it for 4 fucking things in San Francisco. 4 things in San Francisco.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Seems a bit much.
What's Whitney Webb take on this?
I bet she's probably. I mean, Whitney's
can
research
feel
is
him
so
fleeing through the roots.
unbelievable.
Oh, but by the
have
way, I
to.
should say,
Yeah.
before I go any further than that,
Yeah.
Whitney
Oh,
Webb
yeah.
has some
We are
strange
with faith
conspiracy that
judgment.
she believes
Come.
someone's trying to
We
keep
should
her
fall
from being
back
on
to
my
the
show.
Sun Crown.
Interesting.
Yeah, Whitney, I'll have you on the show. I just haven't reached out because
With
I
Ruya
have
in retreat and Aundust in hand, we
That's
can
all.
drive the
I would
friends
definitely
back.
do it. Though.
We got Whitney on a bunch.
The idea that I wouldn't do it is incorrect, and I apologize.
She's an enormously
Autistic.
well. There's a lot of this. She talks like this a lot, and she's just the pentameter of her voice is very like this, and she goes.
She knows a lot.
She knows a lot about things. She goes, Jeffrey Epstein on the third day in January 1996. He met with this guy. You know, like, but she
With no
is-
notes. No notes. She's off
She
the
just
top of the head.
goes.
Yeah.
But she's really enormously amazing at research. She's an amazing researcher. She like
Yeah.
has compiled the data.
Yeah. No,
You know?
she definitely has. And how they kill all those people in Germany? Nobody's whacked her yet.
She's somewhere in South America, I think.
Good move.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, how much resources does she have to protect herself down
One of the
there?
reasons I think people like her end up being safe is she writes these very big, very studious books.
in America's days. The Haranier will always
No
have a
one.
place in
It's not a
silver.
threat.
It's not a
because
threat.
It doesn't go mainstream.
It's not a threat. Now, these big Hollywood types that go, I'm going to blow the whistle on whatever the hell's going on. They go, bye-bye. You know what I mean? Or a mainstream journalist who's like, I'm going to write an article about something and, you know, it's going to lead to a congressional investigation.
Yeah.
They go,
Yeah. It's when you actually create problems, not when you're just a part of the right-wing conspiracy ecosphere.
yeah, because they can just dismiss you as a
Yeah.
crank, and then you've written volumes of this book, and no one cares. Like, and by the way, I'm not saying it's not a great book. I'm saying it's not moving the needle for them. If you have a hard drive with something on it, USB, if somebody gives you, you know, if you have something that could put them in jail,
Yeah.
you're dead.
So how's Anthony Weiner still alive?
Anthony Weiner's still alive because I believe there's two possibilities. Number one, there's a dead man switch somewhere, meaning that there's something somewhere.
You know the story about his laptop with the cops that saw it?
And supposedly they're all dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
Crazy.
Yeah, how many cops are dead? Google that. But the other thing is that they said what
Yeah.
they saw was so horrific.
Then yeah.
And like some of them took their own lives.
Well, that's crazy. That whenever there's so many suicides, I start to get a little. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, what happened there?
Also, did you ever see him on Patrick Bet-David when he starts bringing up the Clinton body count?
Yeah, and
That he gets like super defensive.
well, it's very obvious that
A Grok conversation came up with him.
Grok.
So is it not true?
I don't know.
Okay.
Grok's
A
been
claim that
compromised.
9 of the 12 NYPD officers who viewed Anthony Weiner's laptop subsequently died by suicide has been widely circulated, but it lacks substantiation with concrete evidence linking these officers directly to Weiner's laptop. Here's the details based on available information. Joseph Calabresi, by the way, that guy's on the take.
Right,
That
right.
name.
No, of
Hey,
course.
Joseph wants a
Hey.
taste. Joseph Calabresi. He sounds like a great chef. NYPD detective allegedly involved in Anthony Weiner investigation was found dead from an apartment self-inflicted gunshot wound, which unfortunately a lot of cops
Have
have
this,
taken their
yeah.
own lives. There are a lot of PTSD. It's a fucking horrible job. However, there's no direct evidence linking him to viewing the laptop's contents. Okay. Stephen Silks, deputy chief of NYPD, reportedly involved with the laptop investigation, was found dead in apparent suicide. Like Calabresi, no evidence confirms his involvement. Doesn't mean he wasn't involved. Viewing the specific incriminating files on Weiner's laptop. Other officers. Various reports mention a total of 9 NYPD officers who committed suicide in 2019, but no official sources or credible reports explicitly connect these suicides to viewing Weiner's laptop. How could they?
This is one of those non-denial denials. You would have to know somebody in
Yeah.
the police force. By the way,
But it also could be bullshit.
it could absolutely be bullshit, but I have zero problem believing that Anthony Weiner had a laptop with some very bad things on it.
Well, for sure, he was involved. Look, they were grooming that guy to be some huge politician.
Absolutely.
And then somehow or another, he's sending his dick pictures to young people.
There's definitely, and it's been exposed, I think, by the Epstein thing. There's an entire ecosystem of depravity amongst the ruling elites that people go to great lengths to cover up. This is obvious.
Yes.
So,
and it always has.
and always has forever and ever and ever, and it would be absolutely plausible to me that people have died to cover this stuff up, as Jean-Luc Burdell, Jeffrey Epstein, many others.
Yeah.
Maybe Virginia Giuffre, I don't know. But like, there's tons of questionable deaths linked to the Epstein thing. And by the way, linked to things like the Franklin scandal that happened many years ago. All of the Gary Caradori was an investigator who supposedly had proof of politicians abusing children. Plane goes down with his kid. Whitewater.
Yeah.
Suspicious deaths.
Vince Foster.
This is very suspicious death.
I read that book, The Strange Death of Vince Foster.
Very odd.
In the 90s or whenever it was that I got a copy of that.
Well,
I was
the
like,
Clintons,
this is bananas.
he was the governor of Arkansas when they were running drugs out of Mena, Arkansas to fund the Contras.
Barry Seals.
Absolutely. Bill Clinton was the governor of that state. Bill Clinton reads a book called, it's a famous book by Carol Quigley, I believe called Tragedy and Hope, and it's a history of the 20th century or something. That, it's this compendium. It's Bill Clinton's favorite author. He reads this book, and he's, attends the, Bohemian Grove. He's selected by very wealthy, powerful people to then become a party elder and a leader. And many people believe, myself, is that in order to be selected by that group of people to run for the highest office in the land, they have something on you. You're to some degree compromised. You've shown willingness to play the game. You've looked the other way, at the very least. Maybe you've engaged,
Saladat's attacks
but
grow
at
stronger.
the very least, if somebody goes, something's going on in
Champion,
Mena, Arkansas, you go,
must get to the Vanguard
don't
leaders.
have time for it.
The Sunwell is
And
straining
you've
against
shown the
Saladat's
willingness
assault.
to play the game.
Yes.
And so he's the governor of a very small state that isn't Arkansas is a beautiful state. There's whatever, but he's not he's not running a huge state. He's not a well-known politician. He's a very
All
charismatic,
Vanguard forces to the Sunwell.
very great
Now.
speaker, great politician from a very small state. He's then elevated very quickly to the standard bearer of the Democratic Party
Zalatath's void storm rages
after
against the
tons of
Sunwell.
allegations about inappropriate behavior with women,
Do not-
credible
situation is
allegations of
dire.
rape from Juanita
We
Broadbent.
will accept any help.
Being the governor during that whole New Arkansas thing. He's
are not our salvation.
it's well known that there are
light
skeletons
is the only
in
way
the
to
closet.
stop
It's a good
Zalatath's
guy that's
evil.
going to play the game for you.
Yeah, and he knows, and he's going to play the game, and his wife who's going to play the game.
But doesn't it go all the way back to college? Like, think about
Using
like
a
Skull
relic
and
of the
Bones,
void
all
to
these different
breach
things.
the
If you
storm.
want to be a part of
sounds
these
risky,
clubs and little secret societies,
It
and
is a risk,
organizations,
Regent Lord.
you got to do some weird
But
shit.
it is
You got to
also
suck
the
someone's
only
dick.
way
You
to
gotta,
end the
you know,
siege on
Yeah.
Silverwood.
They got to put a wine bottle up your ass and take a picture of it. There's got to be something.
There's got to
happened.
be some. I think back then there was a ton of that, and I think now there's probably still a lot of that. But I think also now what they do with people, in addition to those things, is they just have the ability with technology to know kind of what you're doing.
Now it's off the charts.
Now it's off the charts.
Now it's
So
off the charts.
now it's like they've got you dead to rights
Yeah.
on a lot of shit.
Yeah, if you're doing
You know?
something fucked up, they know.
They
for
know.
sure.
They know.
Yeah, and then they're holding on to those cards.
Because back then, you're right. It was almost quaint back then. They were like, come to the tomb, show everybody your dick or whatever, jerk
Let
off in the
Bob pee
coffin,
in your mouth.
let Bob pee in your mouth. Now it's gotten to the point where they have you and know what you're doing. You're on the grid, and you've been on the grid for your whole life, by the way.
Yeah.
Now kids growing up, young people growing up, have been on the grid their entire life.
The whole life. Everything is out there.
Now people are going, please, Bob, pee in my mouth. Like, just let me have that one night. I'm now surveilled no matter what you're doing. I mean, that's the thing that a lot of people talk about. DC is this hotbed, like everyone in Congress, and a lot of people, you know, in the Senate, Congress, White House, whatever. They're all mixed up in these weird shenanigans.
Well, didn't you just have Marjorie Taylor
We're having
Greene?
her on soon. Yeah, it's coming out
You
soon.
have it on
yeah.
soon.
She talks about that a lot.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the DC Madam case?
They got rid of her, Deborah Jean
Yeah.
Palfrey.
What
Dead.
happened to her?
Dead.
How inconvenient.
So sad. Unfortunate.
Super unfortunate that a lady
Super unfortunate.
who was bringing prostitutes to all these powerful people
Yeah.
wound up dying after she said that she was
The
going to
terrace
reveal
holds
who
what
was on
we
the list.
require to gain
But
entry to the Void
that,
Storm.
again,
The Sinistera
is-
of Twilight.
Unauthorized entry, please
Now
hold.
think about that. And Epstein is that. Now it's international. Now it means it all, like we've got our congressman, senator. That's right. Yeah. She's nothing in the grand scheme of things. She's nothing. She's just an ordinary clerk. And respect to her and her husband for all his returns. 54% or whatever. More. Killing it.
Pretty amazing.
Killing it. I mean, that's why marry that old bitch if you can't get your feet wet? But you know what I mean? She doesn't dig out those She's another. Why don't they give her a head? She's got that money. Get ahead.
Well, I think she doesn't
course
want
he
to do
left
it
a
now
message
because she
for
doesn't
me.
want people to not recognize
I'm
her.
afraid you'll have to incapacitate
Because if you're
the
Kris
guard.
Kardashian
Yeah.
and you're wandering
I
around now,
would not know her. If I saw her in Beverly Hills, I would not know who that is.
Kelly Osbourne, who's that?
You know.
That's not the lady from that show that I used to watch as a kid.
No, it's completely different. Is there a possibility?
She's walking around if we don't know who it is? Is it possible that Jeffrey Epstein didn't die himself?
I was told by someone who, and this is probably ridiculous, but they said there is a possibility that Epstein, you know, Les Wexner's got that big house in Ohio. Somebody said it's a possibility that Hank didn't live at Les Wexner's house.
If that was true, there would be like
No, I'm
there
not
would be a
saying.
service that delivers me suits.
Of course.
out.
Yeah.
No way that guy's stopping
They'll
doing
shut
crazy
that down.
shit.
Here's the other thing. They'll shut that down. 'Cause it's very easy. There's obviously the abuse is terrific, but I guarantee there are people who can still shut them down. Yeah, you can find them.
Yeah,
You can find them.
well, I think that's the whole idea behind this, and this is what Eric Weinstein said to me.
Yeah.
He said, I believe that there are people that curate experiences for people that are very high profile and very wealthy.
That's right, which I'll be doing in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and Abu Dhabi the night before. Get your tickets
You're
now,
doing
Tim
Abu
Dillon.
Dhabi the night before?
The night before to warm up. October. I'll be in October. Abu Dhabi, October 6th, and then Riyadh, October 8th, and October 7th, the day of rest and remembrance. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Tel Aviv, pay me. Supposedly MBS is a fan of mine. I don't know if that's true, but Sam Morrill told me, and Sam Morrill's not a liar.
Well, why
His
wouldn't
agent
he be a
told him.
fan? You're talking shit about all the people he hates.
Well, I have fun. I think MBS has fun. I have a fun life. I don't apologize. I think we have a good time on this planet. We're here for it. We don't hurt other people. We don't do anything wrong. I don't know what he's doing. Perhaps he's hurt others. I wasn't in the room. And I think that, you know, I think I believe in luxury as a concept.
We can't afford to go.
They want the Middle East to be a little more progressive. They want it to be luxurious.
I could drive now.
Women are driving. Listen, if you don't want the gays going off the roof, obviously I don't want to be thrown off the roof, but we need them to with the purple hair and the 15 genders. No, let's stop somewhere in the middle. Maybe we stop somewhere in the middle.
Maybe he's
That's what I'm going with. He's perhaps an agent of change. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think it, you know, I mean, listen, there were comics who went to perform in Israel that got stuck there because of the Israel war, and they had to get out. Yeah. I mean, how dare you perform? You know? You went to Israel with me? Okay.
well, in Israel, where they went to Tel Aviv, there's massive posters on the street about what's happening in Gaza.
Yes. That's That's right. People are sick of it. They've had enough of it.
500,000 people into
Unauthorized
Yes.
entry.
on the streets.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people they've seen the maybe not he wants to pull it. He's been running a long time. They haven't had elections in a while. You've got this war, crisis coming in, and everything's wild. I mean, I think it's time that a lot of people don't enough is enough.
Well, thank God the Nelk boys got to the bottom of everything.
They got to the bottom of it, and it was a brilliant. I didn't know how he felt about Burger
You'll
King.
go no
I
further,
never knew.
Albrecht.
And now I
These
do.
new defenses were specially made
listen,
with you in mind.
we have these shows. Everybody has a platform. Everybody wants to be on these shows, and everybody has a line of bullshit. We know it's the way it is. It's the way it is. You can't avoid it. You talk to him. Yeah. What is this? You're listening to the Vic. Maybe I do a great job. Maybe I do a okay job. Maybe I do a bad job. I don't know. But you're the person listening. You can choose to like it, or you dislike it. You can say that guy's bullshit. You can say I agree with him there, but I don't agree with him there. You could say I distrust this person. You could say he makes my spidey senses go up. Those are all available. You can have any of those.
And you could also have the thought that you shouldn't talk.
You could also have the thought that you shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, when people have that thought with
That's
me,
fair.
or that I don't push back hard enough, you're allowed to think all this. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion and all that shit.
Everyone's allowed.
But
This is the wildest time, probably, with the hot roughly other wilder times. Well, I think a guy who's perpetuated ethnic cleansing, going on the podcast of prank video influencers to discuss Burger King, is one of the craziest things. That's also
wasn't there necessary questions?
number one, there were pre-prepared questions. Number two, Burger King questions. Number three, they fell off. Wendy's fell off. Wendy's fell off? Wendy's has fallen off more. In the 90s, it was one of the best restaurants.
But don't they still use restaurant frozen?
Everybody's full of shit. I don't know. It's not good. It's not the same. They were the best. In the 90s and the early 2000s, they were the best.
When I was coming home from the comic store, if I was a naughty boy, I
Yeah,
wanted
you
to
Wendy's. Yeah. Yeah.
that was good. If there was a Wendy's and a McDonald's, there's
Yeah.
no question.
I think when you start with the pre-programmed questions, and it becomes, it's not an interview. It becomes, just a quiz of panelists and think you should ask them. Oh, I see, blah, blah, blah.
Policy demands compliance.
By the way,
And it's a staged publicity op.
I would have done pre-programmed questions. If they have questions, I'm not. I don't have a problem with those. As long as he's different. So she's willing to.
I'll take that question.
So these are the questions. As long as it's pertinent, like these the questions.
They could have given her 30 pre-programmed questions and 2 months to prepare, and it would have been a mess.
That's my thought.
It would have been a train wreck either way.
There would have been a lot of
This kid from Subway Kids or whatever in New York City, this guy who does these Subway interviews, just said we didn't put out the Kamala Harris one. It was so bad.
Yeah,
This Democrat came out and said, we didn't want to tank the chances. It was terrible. She had this weird answer that made no sense, and we didn't put it out. This is that guy? It's some guy. I don't know. Some guy on the street does a Subway thing. Maybe I'm not saying the right thing. It's not Subway thing. I think it's I think I'm right.
Creator Subway takes one disagree that Dean Obama discusses Kamala Harris's missed opportunity at a show, meeting in Cuomo on TikTok version of that show, wholesome, relatable comedy, just on episodes of knowledge of existence of opioid, dick pics. The premise is exactly what it sounds like. The host, Obama, sits in the New York subway and asks, so what'd you take? Yes, what did you take? And then Rob, for example.
The whole thing is she went on the
Fresh proof that America died for Commonwealth decided to rupture. Oh, they released them. Oh, okay, let's do it.
I don't think they talked about it. I don't think they've ever released it.
Well, let me hear that. Let me hear him say that.
Particularly really confusing.
Yeah. Odd.
Confusing and weird. Do you think she's medicated?
I think she throws him back.
But is it just that?
No, she's got a couple of those.
An anti-anxiety.
No, she's got a couple of antibiotics down the old gullet.
Okay, so she reportedly said she talked about how she doesn't like to take her shoes off on airplanes. Okay. But Rama said that she instead pivoted to a really bad take that made no sense. Bacon is a spice.
That's one of the more coherent things I've heard her say, by the way. It's actually better than most of them.
Whether that was actually her idea or the advice of overpaid consultants, this is another thing. That campaign was it had the elements, all the elements. If I was an investor, that campaign had all the elements of money.
Right.
You blew $1.5 billion over the course of a few months, and so much of it went to NGOs.
Of course.
Right? So much of it went to these weird nonprofits that were supposedly going to help your campaign.
Yeah.
And well, who's at those NGOs? It's like the LA Fire Project. That's right. Where it's like, okay, you gave the money to 188 different nonprofits.
Right.
They all have overhead. And like, what about the people that lost the house?
Right.
Isn't there like one guy who just starts cutting checks? Right. You got $800 million or whatever you got.
You're paying the salaries of people that work at an organization.
Which is kind of a money laundering operation.
Absolutely.
Especially when you find out that some of these people make upwards of $1 million a year.
Well, what they're going to do with this LA Fire thing is still out in the air, but they proposed zoning the Palisades for low-income housing. They're going to do a big thing. And I think that they have backed off on that. I'm unsure. But I think he's going to be backing off on that. He is now positioning himself to be a Democratic president. He's always been. But now he's really doing it. And to his credit, he's having success. Right. In this moment.
Well, you know, there's some of the success that they're hanging the hat on is his social media campaign where he talks like Trump. He's got a bunch of people from his organization that tweet for him.
Yes.
And they tweet like Trump, and they're saying, this has elevated him in the public's
Stand down.
eye.
Yes.
I have permission from
fucking
Lord
terrifying.
Martin.
It's terrifying. He's
Liar!
starting
Not
to
shall lay
learn
hands on the Sinoshaw.
the
Sinoshaw remains here.
internet,
Dip it on!
Restrain him.
You know,
I'll take care of these people.
sensibility. Who's
Mark,
heavily trolling it very well. All this stuff. What he has is a terrible point. Terrible things to people.
Speak no more!
But he's succeeding on the internet. So that's enough. That's enough. That's the thing. That's truly enough. You don't have to be perfect. He's having fun on the internet. And the state is fun. And people forget. Because that was a few months ago. People have short memories. They go, that tweet was fun. He did a post on X that was fun. And it doesn't matter that they let all the criminals out in California and burn their house. You know?
Yeah. It's, that's how bad.
And he's not even the worst thing. He's bad. But the people who are so much further from him, the problem with Gavin Newsom is that he's kind of a Ken Suit, who is in the wind will go whichever way. So in a time like 2020, when everybody is incredibly like in the grips of wind, and they're like, writing's good, writing's protesting.
On the police.
On the police, here to come. Gavin Newsom goes, puts out a bunch of crazy social media posts about like and throws his own police force
Help me
under
remove the wards around the
bus.
finisher.
It's insane. But then when the pendulum swings back the other way, Gavin Newsom now becomes a sensible conservative that wants to, or a sensible Democrat that wants to reach out to conservatives. And, you know, he's like the Hollow Man.
Yeah.
He just wants to win. And that might be enough.
It might be enough. Well, there's not a lot of other options.
No.
This is the thing. Like we're now entering into 2026. Okay. So we only have 4 years from 2024 to 2028. It's really only 2 years, because everybody has to get accustomed to these people.
Yeah.
They have to be in the public eye. It's not when someone's going to run for president within the last 6 months and they're going to win.
Right.
You need someone who's out there for minimum of 24 months.
Yes.
So who else? We're in 2026, right? So we have 2 years left.
Yeah, it's him. It's Gavin. Now, on the right, there's going to be a power struggle, and either Trump will live through his term, let's hope he does. But he's able. But he's healthy enough, right? Allegedly healthy. If he lives through his term and unites somebody, whether it's JD or whoever, that will be the person. There's a world in which he doesn't know who he is. And there's a real power struggle between different factions of that world.
Well, what are the factions? So you have JD.
You have JD.
who's vice
level
president,
87.
who's the obvious.
The obvious.
And then
Så mangler jeg kun 3
the problem
levels
with Ron DeSantis
til max
is
level.
war stilts.
Ron DeSantis has a cop energy. He has a guy that pulled you over energy, and you
det
go, was it really
gamet
85?
starter på max level,
He's a
ja.
prick. No one likes him. Everyone, he offends everyone. I knew a bunch of, I know a friend who was in finance, a hedge fund guy from down in Florida. He was in like the throes of the campaign. He ended up insulting all of them. He's dismissive of people. It doesn't happen. The question is, Vance, who's smart? Does Vance have? There's doubts, real doubts, that if he has it or not. I like him as a guy. There's doubts. I'm not saying he doesn't have it.
What are the doubts?
But he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the trophy. He's stiff as a board. He's a crutch. He's got the trophy. He's not articulate enough. He doesn't have it. Sure, but I'm saying he's really bad. He's young. He doesn't have the gravitas. Right. The wife's maybe not super into it. I don't know.
Right.
These are the doubts.
Right.
These are the doubts you got to overcome if you want to win.
All right. If not him, who else?
MTG.
For real?
For realsies. Heard it here first. Get on the train now.
You're serious?
Get on the train now. I might be involved. Get on the train now. Buy the stock now. Buy the crypto now. Buy the Ethereum now. You're watching coin sale. Coin is crazy. Step 1 is the coin. Step 2 is the announcement. Yeah. Step 3 is the campaign. Step 4 is the running the country, which I don't think is super important. But the first coin launch, hugely important. Here's what I think.
The first couple of days.
MTG has
get
come
out.
out.
The first couple of days.
MTG, whether it's
My
her
bro.
or not, she's surprisingly weirdly capable.
Okay.
She's kind of a tough bitch. She's in a construction company, all this stuff. She's going to be able to go out there and say, America first, not Israel first. And Vance might wear. There's not enough daylight between him and Trump on Israel. MTG is going to take advantage of that. That's my guess. Get on the train. But maybe I'm wrong. But am I?
Has she voiced any?
She hasn't voiced it yet. But let's be honest. She's positioned herself. You can see it. She's positioned herself to run for president.
What is the wackiest shit that she's ever said?
I don't know. Something about the Jews and the weather. But let's be honest. Who knows what they're doing?
What's going on? MTG threads to say every damn name on the House floor over Jeffrey Epstein's client.
This is fun. She gets part of being the president now is spectacle. She gets it. She sees us. She goes, he's throwing a goddamn show. She's putting on a fucking show and a half.
Also, you're a woman. There's an advantage that you have in that you are not fucking underage people.
No, and she's single.
Right.
She's single woman. She's not, meaning that she doesn't have a husband who works for BlackRock. Right. You know what I mean? Now, why is AOC shutting her mouth about Israel? Because AOC's donors are big Israeli tech people. She's here's the reality. She's shutting her mouth about Israel. Is AOC out there about Israel? No. No, because she's a fraud. But the smelly, gross, anarcho-communist Brooklyn, to their credit, know she's a fraud. They know she's a fraud. In between their, whatever, open mic nights and whatever, they figured out poetry slam, dog walking. They figured out that this bitch
Is
was
it Spain or?
big time.
Yeah, I don't think she was.
Yeah, we got that's why it's
She was
Spain.
probably, she realized she has she's ambitious.
Yeah, it's pretty silver,
She
yeah.
wants to be president. She realized that job is She's got 200 donors or these Israeli tax people. It's kind of ridiculous because this actually just
Yes,
kind of,
silver, yeah.
this is coming out more and more. MTG is one of these people that, now she said some wild stuff. She wrote a media train, okay? She came out. She made some unfortunate statements about Jewish people and the weather, perhaps. You know?
I want to know.
She said something about Jewish space lasers. But Joe, why did the hurricanes hit the west coast of Florida? That's where all, they never hit the east coast. They don't hit the water. So simple. The point is, whatever. But is it or the laser?
The hurricanes never hit the East Coast, is that true?
Yes, they hit the west coast, which is where all the Christians live in the Midwest and Canada. All the Jewish people on the east coast don't get hurricanes, they get a little bit of flooding. But the North Indians, we're gonna get to the bottom of it.
So if you want to buy property, buy it on the East Coast of Florida?
That's what you're saying.
Is that like Mar-a-Lago? Is that the East Coast?
Correct. Ding ding.
Okay, this is it. Martin Taylor Greene has offered an amendment to the Israel funding bill to create space lasers. This is not a parody. MTG literally wants to appropriate money for a Jewish space laser. Well, what does that mean? She wants to fund space lasers?
I thought she was against it, but now maybe she's for it.
In 2018, it was back then. It was different times.
It's different times.
She wanted the space laser. It's 2024, it says.
Now she wants them. Because why should they?
Oh, Jordan Reed's talking about
Why should they have space lasers? We should all have them.
Jordan Reed's talking about space lasers.
That's right.
In 2018, she posted she made theorizing, in quotes, that Jewish space lasers started wildfires in California. Now she's saying the United States deserves this type of defense for our southern border. Okay, I don't think Jewish space lasers did that, but there was a real concern with the wildfires of Ontario. That so many of them started simultaneously over a large distance that it is almost impossible that this was not some sort of that would start the fire. And then there was the question, were they experimenting with some sort of space or satellite-based energy weapon?
Well,
I
what
don't even know
about
if it got
these
away
floods,
with it because it's conveniently in the middle of the woods.
What about these floods in Texas? With the cloud seeding?
Yeah.
This is a problem.
Well, they were cloud seeding just
cloud
a few
seeding.
days before that.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Well, that's also the problem that happened in Abu Dhabi, or no, Dubai.
That's right.
In Dubai, where they openly admit that
They're
this is a
manipulating
cloud
the weather. All these
Yes.
people are manipulating the weather.
Where you going in Abu Dhabi? They do it once a week. Hopefully, you'll
Yeah.
get there on a rainy day.
Well, we'll see.
They
But
do it every week.
They manipulate the weather every week?
Every week.
Well, good.
Well, it's how you keep everything green, Tim.
Listen, my concern is like my own country, and any country that wants to offer me a large sum of money to go and perform, I will do it.
Coming soon to the Congo.
Yeah, I will absolutely do South Sudan, Darfur, Angola, all of it. I'll absolutely do South Sudan. Tim Dillon live in South Sudan. Absolutely will do it.
Yo.
Wouldn't you go to Saudi Arabia?
Busy.
Yeah, but
Stay here.
you're
Have a
doing.
lot to do.
You're also doing well enough.
2 Israeli startup entrepreneurs played roles in the rise of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She pulled out of an event commemorating Rabin Some concluded that AOC doesn't like Israelis, but 2 were instrumental in the lawmaker's early career. That's where it gets weird. They find you
Interesting.
when you're young.
They find you when you're making mojitos.
They find you when you're young and promising, like JD.
Well, that's the thing. JD's going to have to, if he wants to be the president, he's going to have to say, Peter Thiel, I'm
Is the
not.
Antichrist.
He's going to have to say, Peter Thiel is Satan, and here's why that's good. JD has to get out there and go, wouldn't you rather know who Satan is and be friends with him and have dinner with him than have it be like, who's Satan?
Right.
So he's got to get out there and say, I happen to be friends with Satan. And I want that to be misunderstood. I want it to be destigmatized.
Right. If Satan's throwing enough points, maybe we'll be straight.
That's right. Peter Thiel on the next show, when they go, what do you think about that? He goes, I take one pill every day to survive. Yeah. I don't think Peter Thiel needs to feel like a person. I think it's all this sometimes. Right?
What do you think?
I think a lot of these tech people, like, they don't like food. They're not food people, a lot of these tech people. I went to these tech people in Boston. It's not their food's not really good. They're not like food people. They're not like real these food. Like wasps are not either. Like real old school, like wasp food.
Did we get invited to lunch or something?
Yes, I said that. I'm a little wary of that circle of people. And I'm not saying there's anything inherently evil about them because obviously there are people in there. I don't know that I want to go to a dinner with someone who's in a bar endlessly about the people.
But yet you go to Saudi Arabia.
Of course.
I've been to Peach Shop.
Yeah.
I went once with Eric Weinstein, that's the first one. And then the second time he brought me in because they were going to have lunch with Eric Weinstein.
Oh, the guy did Chariots of the Gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in. And I know so much about that.
Yeah.
So I was asking him all the time.
I'm sure he's a very nice guy. Like Peter Thiel. People
He's a
that
nice
know
guy.
him
I've
go,
had
he's
him
a
on the
nice guy.
podcast.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I don't, again, I get invited to a lot of dinners and a lot of things. And what I try to do is I try to say to myself, I need to be able to criticize people and
Right.
make fun of them.
Right.
So, it felt like really weird to go to this guy's house and shit on him next.
Do you think that's part of the strategy of inviting you to go to
Yes. Most likely. But it doesn't work. Because I can't shut my mouth. I can't shut my mouth. I mean, I've said things people in my own family get mad at me because I can't shut my mouth. So it's certainly not going to work. If you're a billionaire invites me somewhere, it's not going to work. But then you probably have to kill me, and I'd rather you not.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I see what you're saying.
I don't want to get super close, only because, like, to me, it's like I like my show because I can talk shit and say things, and I just can't. I don't want to censor myself, and I don't know how to censor myself, and I wouldn't be fun or good
Right.
at what I do if I censored myself. And I think that, like, you know, a lot of people out there in the world are under the impression that they can. Everyone has an agenda, and that's completely understandable. And I think what they try to do is sometimes launder that agenda through some cultural, however they want to do it. You know? Yeah. And that's happened forever. It's not new. It's not unique because there's an internet. 1,000%. There's people that want the world to look a certain way, but they don't come out and tell you exactly how to do it. They figure out a way to kind of like, let's filter this. So I'm trying to, when I look at that and I go, because I think it was a very nice dinner. And I think what he wants, like, I'm sure it was like a lovely, like, he goes, I want to talk about the media. And you're like a comedian, but you're in the media, and like, you know, he has a bunch of people to his house. There's probably smart people that go.
Yeah, he likes to have.
And they talk about the media.
Big thought, like
Right. Yeah, and I just felt like that didn't appeal to me.
Well, that's why he had Von Daniken for lunch, right? So it's not all evil. It's like, what is this about?
The thing is, it's a lot, you know, when people, what would really shock people in America is how much a lot of the super elites are not, it's not like it's all in, and I'm sure some of it is, some of they're all in, but it's not like they're all lizards or it's an ancient art form. Right. A lot of it is like, you feed you the family of the culture so they can make you watch fucking preach. It's just that things have always been good and love to stay good. So, somebody told me once, it's the highest level of society. I'm just saying it's not. And 90% of them have no idea what's going on, and they're just rich. Woke up rich, things are good, and they ski in Aspen or go to the wherever, Hamptons, Beverly Hills, or whatever, or here, the beautiful areas here. And then 10% of those people are earning the money. They're the scions of the dynasties, or they're the CEOs, or they're the hedge fund managers, or the private equity people. And then 1 or 2% of those people are free. Those are the people who are fun. And I mean, those are the people who are, those are the guys who are in that, whatever that structure is. We also for sure.
Right. So you have to be constantly calculating. This is what's fascinating with Bill Gates, where he's pivoted from these guys and really concentrated on global health.
Right.
And philanthropy.
Yes.
All his time is now spent on philanthropy.
Yes. Well, it's a great way to launder money. That's huge. It's a great way to launder money.
It's also a great way to launder your image.
Great way to launder your image.
Well, I remember him in the 90s where everybody was mad at him. He was in the antitrust guys.
I know what to do.
I'll
need to attune the Sinister to the Void Storm.
Well, that's why he went to Epstein's Island, because he was
What
doing
is that monstrosity?
of the area.
You keep it occupied while I channel the spell and end this chaos.
But this is the thing. Throughout history, these people never been far right-handed. Now they're kind of getting far right-handed. Point. Every means at their disposal. A lot of this stuff is fire. Not only that, I think my personal theory is that someone took a lot of theory over about 20 years ago. Listen, as soon as AI's had a model, steal the bunkers, steal the money, take whatever you can, get it off the government balance sheet, however you're going to do it, because let Detroit go, don't give them health care, doesn't matter, don't fix the infrastructure, don't fix the schools. From when AI's out of the box, you have 5, 7 years, and they're really fucking great. So, get your money now, just massive unemployment, civil unrest, autonomous police forces, AI running large sectors of government. That to me is probably one of the reasons that, and I'm not taking it as anything, but I think they know, and now maybe it's a thought, but people like Eddie Jacobson know, for me that's why who knows, maybe it is a thought. That being said, you've got underground cities all over the country, government's, prepared, obviously, for an action for all of these private citizens are now
Yes.
Some of them, a lot of them
It is done.
they're trying to hedge their
We
bets.
have our way into the Void Storm. Let us inform Lord
He has this thing in New Zealand or wants to be in New
and
Zealand if things go
perhaps offer an
haywire.
apology
That's
for
where
the
everybody wants to go, right?
near
They all want to be in New
catastrophe.
Zealand.
Why New Zealand?
It's beautiful, it's an island,
Yeah,
it's
but is there like
gorgeous.
some sort of a theory of how that survives? Some sort of apocalyptic?
I don't know.
Small population, rich natural resources.
All of that.
A lot of food.
All of that. And I think that it feels like they're preparing for something. It doesn't feel paranoid to suggest that they know it's going to get very weird. And there's people falling in love with chatbots.
Oh yeah.
It's going to get odd.
What are those chatbots?
Yeah.
Talking to you and killing yourself.
That's
Sí,
also
sí,
Teaching you
sí.
how to make a better news.
that's what's happening. So, I mean, I think there's, here's a real question, an interesting question. Are the elites in our country, and I mean, not just rich people, I mean, people that own companies that control large sectors of the economy, are they believing that 2050 is going to be, will we still have the United States of America? That's a real interesting question. Because all of these tech people talk like we won't.
Really? Like
Yeah, a
how
lot
so?
of them.
What do they say?
Well, basically, they've talked about the need to one of the biggest startups during the pandemic was, and Thiel was an investor in this, was let's go buy a plot of land somewhere in the world and run a country on crypto and make it like a libertarian paradise. It was called Praxis. And they did this. This was a big startup. It got, a good amount of funding because
Where'd they want to go?
they were talking about like Madagascar, I think. They were talking about other places. But you're looking.
I'm not aware of this.
No, it was a real thing. I mean, it was.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
Jamie?
Yeah,
Sorta?
it was real. You look it up. I mean, it's there.
So they were talking about
You did
using
what you
crypto
had to.
and
Yeah.
funding a new country?
We must
Yeah,
enter the void storm if
I
we
don't
are to
think
stop
the
it.
tech people want. I mean, and I met these kids. They were nice kids, but
Praxis states that it has 2,034
Here,
citizens,
champion.
124
Help me align
companies.
the
The
spell.
companies founded by
It will
Praxis
anchor us
members
back
have
to
an aggregate
Magister's
valuation
Terrace
of
in case of
415
disaster.
billion. Although, which is good for
High
the
Commander
economy for
Lefraxian has warred on
Right.
countless
Although
far
original
realms,
Praxis
so I
plans
have
include
asked him to lead
development
this
in the
mission.
Mediterranean, the company has
And
explored
young
Greenland
Eretor has more than
as
proven
a
his
site.
worth. Together, I hope
the
their
tech
light
people
will balance you
don't.
within
I
shadow.
think.
Your
I think
may
they
be our greatest
see
weapon against
the
the void.
future of America
swear
as
to
more
protect you all.
feudalism than a representative democracy.
Remember that.
Yeah.
The world's first.
Gather your
Yeah.
courage.
Real thing.
Only darkness
So now it says
awaits us on the
922
other side.
billion value of Praxis founded companies. Now there's 103,000 Praxians. Look at this bizarre
this is what the
construction on
architecture
the
is gonna look
side
like.
of this
Oh my
fucking cliff, so that when it all goes south, you can just leap to your death at any moment.
But it's aesthetically pleasing.
Or they could just chuck you off when your
Yes,
tweets
yes,
don't align with
scout
the
ahead.
company's objectives.
But this is one example of something that I think
What?
is. I think it's a little bit of the quiet part out loud, where I think a lot of the tech people have given up on the idea of America as a nation state. Not all of them,
What
but
is
some of
this?
them.
Atlas,
Really
California. Proposes Atlas, California, a defense-focused spaceport city on 3,850 acres in the Vandenberg Space Force Base, located on the California coast between Los Angeles and San Francisco. Vandenberg already hosts SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Relativity Space. Atlas will concentrate elite engineering talent with DoD assets to solve the defense challenges that will determine America's survival.
Yeah.
What?
It's another Manhattan project.
Go to the image that's at the above the header. Look at this fucking image of this
Is it like
place.
drowning?
I think none of this is actually
flailing your
happening.
arms.
I think it's more pretend per se, but I don't know.
Oh, it's just a couple months ago.
They'd like it to happen. But do you see what I mean? It doesn't feel like the main concern here is America
Right.
in any recognizable way.
It seems like they're preparing for the fall.
That seems to be what it is.
Yeah, that seems like they're preparing for the fall of America.
1,000%.
And defend the West
Fear not for my
on
sanity.
Earth and beyond.
My
By the
minion
way,
and
not
I are
defend
well
America,
used.
Right.
defend the West. So,
Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah.
right. Interesting.
Look at this quote. We built the arsenal of democracy, split the atom, and reached the moon. Now we must build a city that wins this century.
No.
Atlas is where America's engineers will develop the technologies that secure our future. Join us. This sounds like how they get here. This is the end. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I would.
good music behind it.
I'm hoping after this they all give me a tiny little pod. Do a pod to interview them about their work.
Right, discovery property.
Yeah.
So this idea is that when AI gets out of the box, as you said, the world's like filled with chaos, crime is rampant,
Yes.
it's madness, and then at that point, these guys wall themselves off, use all of their money, and defend themselves.
That seems to be what it's about.
Defend it. Yeah, it's a weird way of phrasing it. You're not saying, we look to establish a beautiful, harmonious community that,
No, there is an element, I think, of defense.
Ilaria wanted
Yeah, and they're defending them
from an assault.
from maybe the
Defend the
But it's
West.
also like maybe you're defending them from forces that are
Aliens.
well, Well, sure, but or they're domestic. They're American.
This is no place
It
for
could also be,
pleasantries. We
you
must
know,
move.
Understand, Ilaria, that I lead this mission. But
Okay,
your
inspired
aid
by the wisdom
is
of
welcome.
great civilizations, we believe that true
Since you will
sovereignty
likely
is
die
achieved
without
through alignment
Now listen.
with the transcendent. Well, you can't just say that.
this is going to all end
Why
up to
would you
just be like a line of skincare products.
At the end, like it's just
It's
gonna
all-
be fuck it. Brian Johnson's
The
vitamins.
void
Yeah,
is
it's just
too
Brian
powerful.
Johnson's vitamins and
Guys
Chris
trying to
Jeffries
stay
is
alive
dead.
forever. The
not
Praxian
leaving.
way of
We
life is
must be
driven by a
cautious.
vital
My
energy that
attempts to
seeks
infiltrate this
transcendence
place
through
alone
heroic
have been
action
thwarted.
and contemplation.
Time for
Our
caution
mission
has
is to
passed.
channel this drive
Release their
into a
leader
cohesive
and
way of
rip
life
the
forged by
information we
social
need from
structures
it.
and
These fire
institutions
monsters
that
and
guide
no
our
matter
people
what they're
toward their destiny. You just said nothing.
It's nothing, and so what it is opting out.
In America, go to the top. That looks like a mushroom. Yeah, that's a mushroom shop. Are you guys doing shrooms? 'Cause now I'm in.
Well, there's certainly mushrooms.
Well, now I'm in. There's certain ways I want to go.
I'm not saying
I don't
this
think I have
is
enough money.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying this is kind of, and they're not going to be the only ones.
I need to up my game.
They're not going to be the only
Get in on
ones.
this club because I want to defend freedom or whatever.
The West.
You can join the Discord. They have a Discord server.
Yeah.
Our primary centers.
Join the nation, take the pledge, and build the future of the West.
Our work primarily centers around developing culture and
Base
institutions
of the
that
tower.
promote the Praxian
That's
way
the
of
one in
life.
charge.
Boys, it's cool. Because increase our
Teal was
economic.
a big, he funded this.
Right ahead,
Part of the
champion.
funding.
Take it down together.
If you're the Antichrist, you want to at least have a little bit to say.
Like imagine if like you get to the like the highest
Down to the
levels of
smallest
these
mite.
meetings and
Yeah.
they say,
Stay
"Look,
sharp."
Yeah.
and there's something coming and it will be like revelations in the Bible. There's going to be something.
It could very possibly happen. It is interesting to think about the Antichrist and then this all-powerful dark figure. Again, not more powerful than God, but it's a problem, like a real problem. And then that person has had one It's been odd.
Well,
You know? You don't think of that.
if you think about religion as being something that's so human beings, and God wants
What
human
the
beings to- What would be the Antichrist? What would be AI? Wouldn't it be?
Well, I think when you get into living forever and playing God and doing all this stuff, you get into a very dark area of human beings having the capacity of God. All these tech people who've now become super Christian, which seems to be a front because they know how to sell what they're trying to do to America that way.
Like how many of them are becoming super?
lot of
Is
them.
Teal?
Yeah,
Teal super
of
Christian?
course. Everyone.
Well, how does he reconcile that with the gay stuff?
I don't know how anyone reconciles anything with anything.
Right.
Like I think he's. I don't know, but they realize they have to sell the AI stuff and the eventual augmenting of the biology, all of that to America. And there'll probably be a lot of the objections to that will probably be religious or rooted in religion. People going, I don't want to be, but if you can somehow launder it and go, no, God likes and wants you to have the autonomous job. And you have to position yourself.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm sure he can reconcile the gay stuff with the way. There's tons of gay Christians. I'm sure he's a very smart guy. He'll be able to figure it out.
That's
But,
an interesting strategy.
well, that's the strategy.
That does make sense though as a strategy.
Of
That's
course.
how you would approach things.
You would have to.
Yeah.
You would have to. You'd have to go out and say, the good news is God wants you to have all of these things. Which isn't Christianity. It's some other, they've concocted something else. You know, if you're augmenting your biology to live or to live a lot longer, and you are seeing faster or the stuff, you are and there's an argument that science is you should do some of these things, whatever. You can make that argument. But that's not inherently a Christian argument.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think the real argument is it's not just that we can do these things, but it's imperative. And the reason being is that we're in competition with China.
What did you say? You said you were blown away by something.
This Praxian shit.
Well,
This is
yeah.
I had no idea that this was even a thing. We've never discussed it. Have we ever?
but this was a big thing during the pandemic. I don't know the reality of it, but here's what I think. Here's what it is emblematic. The rich opted out of America. Meaning, like, they let many American cities crumble. They allowed the infrastructure of the country to rot. They carved out places within the country that they were going to, secure. And those places are safe. And those places are beautiful. And those places have pretty good economies. And they let the rest of it, the Rust Belt and Sun Belt, a lot of the areas of the industrialized, they let a lot of that go. What's the next culmination of that? The next culmination of that, they're already kind of in a separate country. So this is just the leveling up of that with tech, crypto. You're off the dollar system. You're in your own thing. Or you're doing a digital currency system. That seems to be
well, I think the next phase is allow the same thing that happened in Detroit to happen.
That seems to be
Because that seems like there's an inevitability of automation and of the jobs that AI is going to take away, except for venture capitalism.
Yeah.
Market interest is fine, but everybody, we're fucked. They're gonna have
not us.
AI coming.
We'll have to interview Mark Andreessen every day.
Every day.
Which I tried. Come on.
He didn't come on your show?
But he's a nice guy. Listen, here's the truth.
He's been on my show a few times.
No,
Maybe next
you
time
have a bigger show, actually. It's a very big show, and we would treat. Thank you very much, and thank Mark Maron for building it and being so generous with his fan base. But it seems like they're going to. It seems like they're going to. Say America was fun. We had a good run.
Yeah.
But
to the light.
it seems inevitable that the standard of living is going to fall. Now, a lot of people, like Elon, who's a smart guy, and I don't agree with him on everything, but he says things like, it's going to be good, and the standard of living are going to rise with AI. I hope that's the case, but there's going to be a lot of people
the same coin.
and I don't quite know how people's standard of living is going to increase.
We can use their own materials to bind and capture that dominant
enough or whatever, but it just feels to me like we're heading towards something that has the potential. Maybe it won't be. I'm not going to be a doomsdayer. It has the potential to be incredibly disruptive. It will be incredibly disruptive. Now, for the good or the bad, I don't know, but it does seem like people are preparing for inevitability of war. France just said get hospital ready for war by 2026. France just said that. He came out. Macron just came out and said get the hospitals ready for 2026 because that's when we're transitioning back to a man. But also have
France ordered his hospital to be ready for war.
What is this goon still doing this in its beginning? What goon this person is?
The director revealed in a letter to regional health agencies anticipates 10,000 to 50,000 men in hospital over a period. Maybe this is why they let everybody into the country.
Right.
Health Minister Catherine Vautrin, is that it? Vautrin?
Yeah.
Confirmed the preparations, saying that they're a normal part of anticipating crises in the current international context. Again, what the fuck are you saying? The letter dated 18 July suggests that France could serve as a rear base for a large-scale conflict and mentions setting up medical centers near transport hubs. Follows the distribution of a survival manual to French households and President Emmanuel Macron's plan to double France's defense spending by 2027.
Then we will destroy
How did
them.
that guy get to
and
be the head of France?
will provide
Like,
our
at this
ordnance.
point, can he win an election?
No,
Like,
probably not.
Now everybody knows that he's married to a man who,
Yeah.
not only a man, but a man who smacks him in the face.
Allegedly.
I saw the video.
Well, the alleged man.
The alleged man.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. That woman smacked him in the face.
For
Like, he's
sure.
getting abused.
She manhandled him.
Yeah, man.